Velocis. Velocis. Velosimuni. It is Velosimuni. It is Veloci. It's a Velosimuni. Let me just look. Astro Q A. Shit, just waiting on some motherfuckers to pop in and ask me some questions about astrology or fuck it, we just chilling right now. I mean, shit, questions about philosophy. You know what I'm saying? Philosophy, astro, this motherfucking nigger tick, politic for a little minute. What I feel like talking about? Well, we could talk about first, fourth, seventh, 10th house, right? First, fourth, seventh, 10th house. What comes up now? You know what I'm saying? Fourth house. The difference between, fourth house out of all the Kendra houses, right? All of the Kendra houses, all the other Kendra houses are pretty much trying to do something, to perform some type of something. You feel me? Like first house is this is the self will, you know what I'm saying? The king self will or whatnot. Right? So whatever your identity, your will, whatever that you drive for, whatever is your kinghood identity that you feel like you were born to express, that's in the first house. You know what I'm saying? That gets encoded, that gets expressed through the first house and whatnot, right? So, and that's something that you're naturally good at. You're naturally born as powerful in or good about, right? Seventh house, what are you trying to do? You're trying to union. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to make partnership. You feel me? You're trying to experience and take pleasure in another party, but at the same time, it's that action of catering, pleasing. You feel me? Let me scratch your back. Let me, get some wine and you know, decorate the room with roses and, eat your coochie from the back. You feel me? Let me perform services that please this other party, to keep the marriage going, to keep the contractual agreement going, to keep the whatever the situation is going or whatever, right? Seventh, it feels good. You feel me? Even just from a purely business perspective. You know what I'm saying? It feels good to land a certain contract with a certain entity or business partner or whatever. And it feels good for y'all to be able to mutually benefit each other and whatnot, right? But there's still a work. It's still an expression. Still a devotion. It's a dedication or devotion like expression when it comes to the seventh house. My bad, not the fourth. Uh, so 10th, right? 10th is definitely a house of work. 10th is the difference between the first and the 10th. First, you're naturally good at. 10th is like you lack these qualities at first. You have no idea. You feel like you're so at the bottom of the level, at the bottom of the ladder. There might be so many different masters or people who reach the top of the mountain and you aspire to reach the top of the mountain. So you get to doing arduous, strenuous work, struggle, discipline in order to reach the top of the ladder or to reach the top of the mountain or whatnot, right? That's the 10th. You feel me? And once you reach the top, it's pretty much like you went from a rags to riches type situation. It's pretty much like you've formed yourself into a king. You know what I'm saying? First house is you just naturally had that power within you. You know what I'm saying? You just naturally were, you know, powerful or masterful or kingly or willpower, self-expression, identity. You naturally have whatever the first house lord, you know what I'm saying, and placement is. You naturally have that shakti, that power within you. It's not something that you have to work on. In the 10th house is something that you definitely have to work on, right? The 10th can feel grueling, it can feel dry, it can feel like you're doing a lot of sacrifice or you're doing a lot of stripping of the self when it comes to the 10th house. And the seventh house is, it's work, but the seven is work. It's from a more softer scale, but it can be just as beneficial. It can be even more beneficial. That's why when you bring it to the zodiac signs, Saturn is the ruler of the natural 10th, which is Capricorn, but Saturn becomes exalted in the natural 7th, which is Libra. You feel me? So the hardest worker, the best place for the hardest worker to be is in a softer place like Libra. You know what I'm saying? A more romantic, a more joyous, relationship, marriage, business, media based type place. This is the place that the hardest worker gets exalted at, right? And there's a reason for that. But when it comes to all of the Kendras, motherfucking god damn, my damn alarm keep going on. Peace, Dino Lover. Peace. It must be bots or something that's flooding in. But shit, I'm just talking about astrology. If anybody got anything you want to comment, we could talk about religion and philosophy too. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking shit. You feel me? How y'all feeling tonight? I hope all is well. Seemed like I had a little bit of a bot influx. Bots are taking over the internet, by the way. So, in order to combat this, everybody should purchase 10 full hats and keep KY spicy. No, it's crazy. Let me chill out. Yeah, peace to y'all. Peace to y'all. What do y'all know about astrology? Does anybody here know anything about astrology? Or shit, is everybody left? I think everybody left. Shit. Peace, drifting flame. That sounds like a bot name. That's like the perfect name of a bot would pick. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like a bot, definitely. Shit. What do I know about astrology? What do I know? Astrology in a nutshell. Yes, you are a bot. I've arrived to that conclusion long ago. But astrology in a nutshell is it's like planetary weather forecast and how does the weather forecast affect the people of Earth. I thought you said you're here to lesbian. I don't know why I read that as lesbian. Um I need mental healing. I should see counseling. I don't know why I seen lesbian right there. It says learn. It's not lesbian. Lesbian and learn are two different words. They're not the same word. Note taking. But yeah, astrology is uh astrology is pretty much like you observe celestial weather, planetary energy, and they definitely has an effect on the people on Earth. And I read that as lesbian again, lesbian friends. Yeah, I should seek counseling, I believe. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, so yeah, that's astrology. And people will say, "Well, that's crazy. That's stupid. Do you really believe planets can influence the behavior of mere humans? Do you really believe astrology? Do you think will or not?" Well, I mean, it's 50-50. Well, you do have free will, right? But you have influence as well, right? And the free will combines with the influence to produce the tapestry that we call human life experience, right? So just like it could rain tomorrow, you know, and you have the free will to go outside in the rain ass naked or fully clothed with an umbrella, ride in the car. You have the free will to do a number of different things, but you can't really control the weather or make, you know what I'm saying, the process of the rain stop. And different people are going to react to the rain in different ways. Somebody's going to get caught in the rain, they're going to get pissed off, they're going to crash out, and they're going to start cursing random people out, right? One guy is going to get caught in the rain. He might get sick, catch ammonia, and have to take off work for a week or something like that. It's different reactions. You can't stop the rain, but you can prepare for the rain, or you can stay home and avoid the rain. It's different things you can do. So yeah, there's free will, and then there's the astrology, the influence, right? It is my belief that through self effort and through proper knowledge, an individual can overcome anything, any limiting planetary influence, and reach whatever level of mastery that they desire to achieve. Uh, and, sometimes it takes a lot of application, it takes a lot of effort, sometimes it takes a lot of force, it takes a lot of discipline. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it comes extremely easy due to the astrology or due to the karma, you know. But that's just my take on that. Uh, but yeah, what was I saying before I got into that? The astrology chart is like your samsara chart. Yeah, I guess you could say that. You could say that. I mean, yeah, pretty much. It's just the what's keeping you in a loop, you know. But it's also a classroom too. It's like you're in a loop, and to undo the loopedness, you got to go through certain experiences. You got to go through certain karmas. You got to engage in certain activities that try to pull the self from out of the bullshit and the BS and whatnot. You know, it's like trying to find that needle in the haystack, or trying to find that one chink in the armor. Like once you find it, you're able to apply the proper amount of force to disassemble the whole armor. You know what I'm saying? To let the whole shit fall apart and reach enlightenment, and you know yeah, but schools look the same as prisons sometimes. That's true. Right, that's true. Schools look the same way as prisons. And it's like either one, I guess whatever is experienced, or whatever whatever is transform within the internal world depends upon the individual itself. Some people go to school and they gain a lot of knowledge and experience or whatever, and they might feel like school is bullshit, but they might learn a lot of soft skills, learn a lot of interpersonal skills or whatnot, and go out in the world and become multi-level billionaires or whatever the fuck, and run all these different businesses and all this good shit, right? Just because they've learned how to network and communicate, and they've used school, the connections that they built at school, to their advantage. And some people, just have the downward mindset or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Fuck school. I want to get on the block. I feel like selling dope today. Let's sell some dope. In words, right? Some people go to prison, some people go to prison and it's just hell for them. Some people go to prison and come out 10 times, 20 times better, smarter. Was reading, daily exercise, daily self-construction, prayer, meditation, all of these different things, you feel me? And they come out of that prison like a piece of coal being put under pressure and refined into a diamond. So it's all about, the individual. Peace, KOMS. How you doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm just in here talking on astrology. We can talk about, philosophy, religion, all that shit too. If y'all got any questions, you know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, but yeah, astrology, it ain't fatalistic. Motherfuckers be talking about Pluto retrograde. Oh, fucking Pluto. You know what I'm saying? Pluto's retrograde. Now I must murder my dog. That's crazy. You don't fucking see a planetary transit and believe that something has to happen or you have to do something. It's never that way. You know what I'm saying? You just prepare for the weather. Like you don't see rain and be like, oh shit, you can't go nowhere today. Like motherfucker, you do not know what a vehicle is or an umbrella is. Like just get some shit. You feel me? Just put some shit on and prepare for the rain. You'll get through it. If it's hot outside, you feel me? Just pack you some extra waters or some shit. Lose some fucking weight. So, you feel me? So you can move around freer and feel like a better human being or whatnot. That's crazy. Shout out to the overweight community, man. I don't got nothing against y'all niggas, man. I know that was harsh. That was crazy for me to say that. But hell yeah. Yeah, it just changed in Western astrology. It's still in Capricorn from the Vedic, I believe. Peace, Oscar. What's up with you? You feel me? I hope you know what I'm saying, cooling on this good whatever today night is. It's Monday now. Monday morning and whatnot. You feel me? It's just change is hard. Change change is not the easiest thing in the world. I'm not gonna lie. It's not. Sometimes a good amount of times we can say change is not a walk in the park, but staying the same is equally hard, if not harder. It really is, bro. I don't know your situation. I don't know what you got going on, and it's not for me to know. But whatever you're going through, you got. Do I honestly want to stay in the same position that I've been in? You know, what would be better? You're going to have to sacrifice either way. You feel me? Something's going to have to give. I think we kind of have like some type of um subconscious mind control programming that people just expect life to kind of, some people at least expect life to, and I'm not just talking about you, you feel me? It applies, I would say it applies to everybody to some degree. Like some people just, we're kind of entitled or feel like shit is just supposed to happen. And it's like, this is the physical plane, this is reality. Something is going to have to be sacrificed. So, you know, change is hard. Staying the same is hard as well. You just gotta pick which hard that you're more interested in. I mean, this motherfucker sound like a sober David Goggins or something. Nah, it's crazy. And that motherfucker definitely do coke. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Don't nobody wake up at 4 fucking in the morning every fucking day just wanting to run, bro. You're a cokehead. You do dope. But it works for you. So, you know what I'm saying, shout out to David Goggins, goddamn it. Yeah, yeah. Pluto, and the Western, I don't even know what's the Western placements or whatnot. To be honest, is there Aquarius or Western? I can't check it right now. But shit, from the Vedic, what we got going on? Vedically, Sun, Jupiter, Rahu was in Aquarius. Let's see, Rahu was in Aquarius. Let's see, that's one, two, in Pisces, Mars and Taurus is in the Gemini, Mercury is Gemini. Uh, what am I missing? Am I missing one? Did I said Venus? Where is the moon? The moon is in Sagittarius. It's about to enter into Capricorn. So transits. The Venus and K2 transit, some dress. Like I would say, especially people who have an afflicted Venus within a natal chart. You know what I'm saying? The Venus is afflicted, in your chart. Definitely within the duration of this VK2 transit, you probably was dealing with health issues or realizing you had to stop spending so much money in a certain area or realizing you got to clean up your diet or your relationship was kind of in jeopardy or, somebody that you considered a loved one was not necessarily seeing eye to eye with you. You feel me? Venus K2, it was highlighting a lot of needing to detox and to clean your perspective in regards to love, relationships, money, taste, food, enjoyments, all that. You know, and when Venus comes with K2, K2 was like a crazy wizard, like an old fucking crazy wizard. And he don't give a fuck about nothing but knowledge and, you know what I'm saying, spiritual truth and whatnot. So the old wizard, he'll put you through some hard lessons. You know what I'm saying? He'll put you through some psychologically taxing, some mind breaking lessons, but he does it for a good reason. He does it because he wants to see you reach your best potential and he wants to let you taste the true bliss, the true treasure of life, which is spiritual equanimity. And Venus, yes, K2 can be seen as a monk, but he's not like like you feel me, you can see the regular, well, I ain't gonna call him fucking regular, that's kind of crazy. You see the quote unquote average perception of a monk as this bald head clean person and they're just peaceful and you know what I'm saying, all they do is eat ramen noodles and you feel me, refrain refrain from masturbation or whatever the fuck, right? um but that's not necessarily K2. K2 is crazy. If you ever seen Avatar, the cartoon Avatar, K2 is like King Boomy, you know. King Boomy was wild, he was crazy, he was insane. but he was very wise. You know what I'm saying? King Boomy, um, when it came time to, I guess he was training Aang. I forgot. I ain't see the shit in so long, but King Boomy turned on Aang, and he put Aang through a test that really forced Aang to enter into the Avatar state. But he did it for his own good. Like, I don't know if you ever seen Avatar, but that's a good representation of K2. Um, like a crazy monk, but it's a method to the madness, as they say. But yeah, and Venus is like a bad bitch, for lack of better, I guess, expression or way to say that. Somebody who's just naturally attractive, appealing, magnetic. People pretty much fall at their feet, and she's artistic, and her titties are just absolute perfection, and yada yada yada, etc., etc. But Venus does have a spiritual quality, innately spiritual quality as well, which is why Venus gets exalted in Pisces, right? Um, one of Venus's powers is shit. The best way that I can put it is like a Shakti, the healing Shakti, right? Even from the Vedic scripture, um, Shukracharya, which is the representation of Venus. He was given the Sanjeevani mantra, which allowed him to pretty much resurrect the dead and whatnot, right? And Venus in itself, it does have the power to revive, regenerate the bodily structures, and even activate the spiritual connectors and perceptions and all this extra woke shit, right? Venus does have that power, like virility. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas be saying with semen retention or whatever, right? Venus represents this semen, the virility, that fluid of life, that potent, powerful essence within each and every human being. Once it's channeled properly, once it's directed properly, you know what I'm saying? Once your Venus is, you feel me, strengthened in that type of way, it naturally, smoothly, elegantly activates various aspects of the life process. Because what my K2 is, it doesn't act like a monk. It's always gonna act like, well, yeah, it depends. It depends on you know what I'm saying. I guess where it's at. K2 can be violent. It can burn. K2 burns a lot, but it really depends on, are you willing to listen to the lesson? Are you willing to really understand what K2 was trying to tell you, and to let go of the things that need to be let go of, to release the dead weight, to detox, your mind, body, spirit, all of that from whatever needs to be detoxed, and to detach. If you do that, K2 brings moksha. As they say, K2 represents moksha. You feel me? So K2 is, it's not just malefic. It's not just bad shit. It's not just, you know, um, die black he die. Like it's not just, you feel me, hard experiences and, you know, mental illness and all this extra shit. It brings moksha. It's the representation of moksha. Moksha is the deepest sense of peace existence, truth. And that pretty much is what K2 was trying to bring, you know, because we, as humans, we have the perception that, let me do more, let me grab more, let me have more, let me ascertain more money, more cars, more whores, more prostitutes, right? This is what life is about. This is what, this is the good shit. More coke, more fucking cocaine. Why not, sir? Right? We often have the perception that engaging in more activity, engage in a more acquisition, engage in a more feeding, on the different substances that this brings pleasure, but it doesn't. It brings more of an amalgamation of various external impressions that kind of drown out who we really are to the core, and that kind of introduce different illnesses into the mental complex, depression, anxiety, or you strung out, anger issue, right? Stressed out or coked out, you doped out or whatever. You feel me? Just introduce a host of issues from a physical, mental, psychological level, all that, right? Because we're doing so many different things. But as Venus's exaltation will show you, once you learn to strip to that's crazy. Strip is crazy. But once you learn to release the falsities, like you know what I'm saying, release the false attachments in Pisces and orient oneself to that spiritual journey, whatever that spiritual journey may be, right? This is when you really start to enjoy it. Once you start to strip away the different identities, you know what I'm saying, the different hats that you wear. Oh, you a stay at home streamer dad, you know what I'm saying? Your wife, your wife does steroids, you know what I'm saying? She's built like Ronnie Coleman, and your daughter doesn't respect you at fucking all, or you feel me? Whatever the fuck your life story is, you know what I'm saying? Like you once you start to strip down the different hats, the different accumulations, once you start to wean the self off of the different possessions, off of the I need this bitch. Her ass is fat. I can't lose her. You know what I'm saying? Her ass is too fat to lose. Like once you start to be able to allow these things to leave, get back to the inner emptiness that is naturally fulfilling. That is naturally the truth. That is naturally the satisfaction. We don't need nothing, but we believe we need nothing. I mean, we need everything, right? Sound like some tinfoil hat shit. I know somebody like, what do you mean we don't need nothing? I need Wi-Fi. But yeah, astrology. Might try to bring my homie on. See if you want to build a little bit. But shit, from the Vedic scripture, they say Shiva actually, if I'm not mistaken, he gave the knowledge of Jyotish or astrology to human civilizations as a way to overcome the karmic process. Like this shit was originally supposed to be something to figure out how to get out the cage or whatnot. Venus is Osiris, Uranus penis. Venus is Osiris. All right, I never heard of that. But I can see that. Mm, that is a resurrection. I never even thought about connecting the planets to the Egyptian, the Kemetic deities. Venus fell into the ocean and got eaten by baby the fish, by the fish Neptune. Hmm. You know what's crazy? And damn, that's crazy. I gotta look into that. But Shukracharya, which I guess you could say is the Vedic Puranic counterpart of Venus. Shukracharya got eaten by Shiva. You know, Shiva carries the trident, right? And Neptune carries the trident as well. So I guess it's a correlation there. Yeah, Vedic astrology concepts, Vedic astrology mythology. What else I could talk about? Uh, I had just released some videos about the benefic versus the malefic, concepts or whatever. No planet is really benefic or malefic. I mean, I kind of get the stereotypical rundown, I guess, like these group of planets, they don't feel too good. The other group of planets, they feel good, but in actuality, it's better to not even abide by the benefic or the malefic. You know what I'm saying? Because like when you think about it, let's take the sun. The sun is supposed to be a malefic, but let's take the actual physical functions of the sun. The sun is responsible for the sustenance of all life on this planet, right? Without the sun, is no vegetation, is no mollusk. You know what I'm saying? Is no bad bitches. Without the sun, nothing can flourish. You feel me? Have life activity. So yeah, I mean, if you ask me, you know what I'm saying, I would damn near say the sun is the greatest benefic. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and it's other things too, but you know what I'm saying. I ain't gotta elaborate too much on that here. But bottom line, yeah, the whole benefic versus malefic, that's not really it. Even Jupiter, people have this concept of Jupiter being, just spiritual flowers and blessings and you know what I'm saying, enlightenment and oh, the universe just kissed me and poured me some chai tea and some matcha and I just got a $30,000 deposit into my bank account for no fucking reason. And life is great, right? That's not Jupiter. Jupiter has a similar functionality to Saturn, to be honest. Jupiter, because you gotta think about it, right? Jupiter is a prophet. Jupiter is a sage from the Sagittarius perspective, right? So what does the prophet or what does the sage naturally have to go through? You know what I'm saying? Let's take Jesus, for instance, right? With the greatest prophet, God in the flesh, whatever people want to call it. It's like Jesus, completely sattvic, completely pure, didn't sin, knowledge of God, knowledge of the scripture, holy man, had no enmity or evil within him for humanity, but he still was persecuted. He still was strenuously and heavily tested. He still went through an immense amount of suffering, right? And for what reason can you say? Did he harm anybody? Did he bring any chaos or tribulation to anybody outside himself? Not at all, But when it comes to a person with an immense light, when it comes to a person with an immense presence, you feel me? Or an immense Jupiter, right? The dark is going to test that light. The dark is going to test the quality and the truth of that particular light, and the light has to be tested in order to be proven true, right? The faith has to be tested. The conviction, the knowledge has to be tested. You know what I'm saying? And to be proven true. So In a lot of the prophets, Daniel was thrown in the lion's den or whatever, still survived. It's all good. But that's Jupiter's effect basically, to come out even more blessed on the other side of whatever test, tribulation, trial that the individual goes through, right? Jesus resurrected. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Resurrected, came back. Y'all can't kill me. I can slaughter every last one of y'all if I wanted to, but it's not even about that. It's a deeper knowledge. It's a deeper life process type thing that's going on. And but yeah, Jupiter, where Jupiter sits, you can pretty much expect a lot of tests and a good bit of warfare in relation to that house. But depending upon this placement, the person has faith in order to pass that warfare. And the warfare only increases the amount of knowledge, power, wisdom, spiritual ability that, the individual possesses. So yeah, it's no real good or bad. It's no real benefic or malefic planet. Like they all have their own issues and deficiencies. And to be honest, the issues and deficiencies aren't really issues and deficiencies either. It just feels like it does. You know, fasting feels bad, but the body is healing itself when it's fasting. You know, you detoxing when you fasting, but it feels bad. It feels bad to put down the water burger, to put down the 82-piece lemon pepper, right? Motherfuckers can't do it. But yeah, I'm about to get off live. Peace, y'all.